I'm always surprised when there are people here. I don't. I'm not sure what the format is, and I don't know what you guys want to talk about. So, and now we preach on Sunday mornings, and it's already afternoon. So, probably just address any questions you guys have. Obviously, I'm Ernie Hudson, and I did the Ghostbusters movies, probably best known, but if you guys are here, you probably already know a lot of the stuff that I've done. So if there are any questions, I tend to ramble on a bit, so we can talk about anything. I mean, nothing's really sort of off limit. If I don't like it, I'll just lie. But it's great to be here in Bangor, which I'm told I have to pronounce it correctly. I kept saying banger, and everybody just cringed. So, but good, yeah. So, any questions about anything? Sure.
What was it like driving Acto?
It was kind of like driving a car. I mean, you know, it's driving an old car, in fact, that never worked right. The car always broke down on us. We're shooting in New York in that crosstown traffic, which is really busy, and the car broke down. We had to get out and push it, and it never worked right. They just got the car up to run enough to get the shot, and then it would just break down. Those cars, those 59 Cadillacs, are really not the best built cars. They paid me a lot of money to go to, was it Phoenix? It was in Arizona, and they had that, the auction, what's the auction? It was a real famous auction, and they wanted to auction off one of the cars, I guess they used at Universal. So it was a Ghostbuster car, and they were paying me to stand by the car. Like the girl does, you know, stand by it. Which is okay, because they were paying me. I'm like, okay, I'll stand by the car, you know. But the car literally broke down. They couldn't drive it on stage. They pushed it out on stage. And still somebody paid $85,000 for it. So. But I think it's because I was standing by it. Yeah, so, but it was cool. It was great being in the movie. You know, the guys, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, really, really cool people. Sometimes. And no, it was great. It was great working. It was always great working. And I had a lot of fun on that movie. It was frustrating at times. But, and I know somebody's going to ask, so before you do, what do I think about the new Ghostbusters? Yeah, no, of course, you know, I have to realize you can't joke with the press. I was at a red carpet for something, and they asked me what I thought about the idea of the girls. And I said that if it's all-girl Ghostbusters, it didn't sound like there was a job in it for me. I mean, it was all girls, so, and I said, well, I don't think it's what the fans were expecting. Well, somehow that turned into Ernie Hudson hates women. I don't know how. It's not what I said, okay? I don't hate women. And, but once it became definite that they're doing it, and I saw with the cast, this is a great cast, I think it's gonna be a funny movie. I don't think you can redo Ghostbusters. You know, it has to be something on its own, but it'll be something equally funny and in a different way. And so I'm very happy they're doing it. And yeah, so, you know, and I guess that's all I have to say about that slate. And now I also heard they're going to do an all-male Ghostbuster. You probably heard that too, so it's supposed to be two happening. We haven't done one in 30 years now. We're going to do two at the same time. But yeah, I love the franchise, love being a part of it. And if I'm offered a job, I'll be very happy. If the pay, you know, I don't care if there's a steady paycheck in it, but it has to be steady. Can't be for fun.
Anything you say.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll be in any movie you want. I'll be in the all-animal Ghostbuster. How about that? Yeah, so, but it's cool. It's great to 31 years later have people who love the movie, who dress up in their jumpsuits and their backpacks and you know.
Yeah.
There's always one, you know. No, I'm very proud of that, man. I just feel so honored by that. That you know, those backpacks aren't cheap to make. I mean, it's guys turn their cars into ectomobiles. I was in Brussels, 50 guys showed up. You know, they couldn't speak English. I don't know what the hell they were saying, but they had their Ghostbuster outfits on, and they had 3 ectomobiles. They had turned these cars into ectomobiles with the lights on. And I was in the south of France. Guys came all the way from Italy and Spain with their Ghostbuster outfits on. Australia, New Zealand, you know, it's kind of a world phenomenon, and it's very cool. So, if you want to be a Ghostbuster, I'm sure there are local Ghostbusters chapters who would love to include you. They do a lot of charity work, and they have chapters all over the world, like I said. So, yeah. Any other? Sure.
All right. I watched Ghostbusters as a kid. My dad and I loved it.
Great.
But I've only just recently watched The Crow in the last couple of years, and I like the movie. I liked you in it, of course. But I'm wondering, how did you feel about being in such a dark movie, being one of the few bright spots in it? What was that like?
How did I feel about being one of the bright spots in The Crow that was such a dark movie?
Yeah.
You know, first off, I knew Brandon Lee about 8 years before he did the movie, and he was really a sweet kid. I mean, you know, Russ, when you reach a certain age, everybody's kid. So I knew Brandon when he was really young, and then we did the movie, and he was just, I just really loved Brandon. He was just a really kind. I don't say that about everybody. I love everybody, so it's not. But I really, really liked Brandon, and when he died in the movie, it was shocking and really sort of unbelievable. But Alex Price, who put the movie together, I thought did a great job. It's one of my favorite films, you know, in spite of what happened, it turned out to be a good movie. So, and I like that character, I like the character that I played. So yeah, I mean, I like to work. I'm glad the movie is well received, and people, even, you know, no matter where I go, somebody will mention The Crow and mention Brandon. So, yeah, I'm very happy to have been a part of it. I'm not sure how else to answer that, but yeah, it was you know, one of those. There are a few things in my career. I've been acting for about 50 years. It's one of my. I have 4 sons and one of my sons, and my 2 older boys are. Well, my oldest son is almost 50. So, but I've been acting a long time. And there are a handful of movies that people really respond to, and The Crow is one. So very, very proud to have been in that movie. Yeah.
And just to make sure I didn't make some huge mistake, you were the cop that the character was friends with, right? Not one of the bad guys, right?
So,
Sorry.
well, see, I was feeling really good about that.
I'm sorry. I only saw it.
I'm sure you're the guy who did the. Were you the cop? Or were you the guy with all the knives? Sort of.
I only saw it once. I just want to make sure I didn't make a mix.
I was in the movie. You'll have to look and see which part I played. You know, I just, oh my God, I love you. I just love all your movies, and especially that movie. And then they'll say The Garbage Men or something, and you go, yeah, but I wasn't in that movie. So, do you have any? Yeah.
Yeah. What was the most difficult role you had to play? It took the longest time, the one that was frustrating, that you're so glad you nailed it.
Well, I'm an actor, so I think what we do, you get a character, you get a certain vibe. Like when I read a script, I kind of get, because we're all kind of the same. I think we're all in the same mix. We're all, you know, I know we all like to think we're so uniquely different, but the truth is we have a lot more in common. But every character has a certain signature rhythm, and so you try to find that, and once you find that, and it takes a little work sometimes. You got to research. If a guy works for the post office, and I've never really spent time in the post office, I should really go and hang out at the post office a little bit so I know what his world is like, because, you know, if I were in a different profession or lived someplace differently or was married to somebody different, then I would probably be a little different as well. So you kind of need to know what that world is. So it's a lot of work to kind of find that character rhythm. But once you get it, you got it, and then it's, you know. So Winston was a little bit different than the guy in The Crow, in my mind at least, or the guy in Congo, you know. It's so every character kind of. So it's all a little work. Some are easier because some things are closer to me than other things. But if I can have the freedom to do my job it's work, but it's fun. But sometimes you get a director who has a different idea, and then it becomes very frustrating. I did a television show, and I got the script, and I really felt I got the character down, but when I got ready to do the show, the director wanted something else, which really went against my instincts, and so I tried to adjust to his thing, and it never felt right, and then it's hard work, because you know, if you do what you say, the heck with that, I'm gonna do what I wanna do, and you don't feel right about it because he's second guessing you, and if you do what he wants, so that's when it's really hard work, but that doesn't happen very often. I was asked to come to the New York Film School, which is in Los Angeles, New York, and I think Sydney. So they show each month, they'll have a film series, and then they'll invite someone from the films to come, and they asked me to come and you know, do a Q&A with they saw The Crow, and then they wanted me to come and answer questions for an hour. And it was about 15 minutes into it, one young man got up and said, "How do you like working with directors?" And I said, "Well, you know, I get along pretty much with everybody." And he says, "Well, what's your best experience?" And I mentioned, I think probably The Crow, or maybe The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. And he said, "Well, what's your worst experience?" And I said, "Well," and I made the mistake of naming the show. And I said, "You know, I really, really hated it. I mean, I had this director, he was an idiot. I mean, he was so slim, he would do this thing, and I hated this guy, And I just told this whole, I just dumped all that out. And when I finished, the kid said, he said, "That was my dad." And then I thought he was like kidding. So, but I wasn't sure, and then everybody in the audience was kind of feeling uncomfortable. So he used the F word, but I won't use it now because there are kids here. So he said, "I'll say screw." So he said, "Screw you, Ernie Hudson." So I said, "Well, screw you." So because I wasn't sure. And then of course, and he seemed really younger than the rest of the people. He was like he had finished high school at 15, and now he was in film school, and then the Q&A stuff just sort of was painful. Everybody was a little awkward, because apparently they knew that his dad had worked with me, and I just said I hated his dad. So, but I still wasn't sure, and so when it was over, the administrator came up, he said, "Yeah," he said, that was his father. So then I went home and it bothered me. So, because when I have sons, I have 4 sons, and I would hate somebody to say to them, "Your dad was an idiot," which probably does happen, but they don't tell me. So I called the school and I said, "You know, I really need to come back and talk to this kid, because I just, you know, I didn't hate his dad, I just hated it." But anyway, so yeah. So I went back to see the kid, and the kid wasn't at school, he was at home. Because even though he was 15, he was living in this little apartment near the school by himself. But he had some kind of heart surgery, and he got out of the hospital early. so he could come and meet me. So it just kept getting worse and worse. So I was like, So I did talk to him. He said, "No, it's okay." So I keep reliving it. I tell that story over and over and over again. Just let it go. So I try not to mention shows that I absolutely hate.
Which actor or actress would you like to work with in the future?
Well, I went to Yale. I graduated from Wayne State, and I got a scholarship to go to Yale. This is back in the 70s, and Meryl Streep was a student there, and Sigourney Weaver, and they've gone on to do fairly well. So I was doing a play on Broadway about 6 or 7 years ago, and Meryl Streep came to the show. In fact, she came to the show the same night that President Obama and his wife came to see the play, and we went out to dinner. And I would love to work with Merle. I'd love to. Sigourney, I worked with, and we talked about the college years, but I'd love to work with her. But I just like working with good people, you know, and you know, I think the biggest thing is finding a script that really gives you something to play, because a lot of stuff I get asked to do is very little to kind of get your hands on. I did a movie called To Hell and Back for TV One, and it's still playing actually. It was based on the book of Job. It was a wonderful character, and as an actor, you live for that. I mean, that's because that's what you do. But I so seldom get a chance to do what I feel I'm capable of doing. I mean, they'll have me on a show, but I'm not doing much in the show because somebody else is starring in the show and it's their story. It's like being on Desperate Housewives, and they call me and they said, we really love your work and we really want you on the show and you're gonna do multiple episodes. And I'm like, great, yeah, Desperate Housewives. So like I watch the show and say, I wonder which of the ladies do I get to sleep with? I'm really excited, and then I get there and it's like, no, you're the cop, okay? You're gonna come in and say you're under arrest, and then you're gonna leave so we can tell our story. Or like one of the heroes, you know, and they always give me that build-up. We just love you. And then I'm thinking, what superpower am I gonna have? I mean, I'm not gonna walk through walls, I mean, and no, we don't want you to do that. You're the detective. But when you get a chance to really do what you do, like in The Hand that Rocks the Cradle, then it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
I recently just watched the show Comic Book Men when you went and handed out the comics and the
Right.
ice cream truck. How was your experience with that?
Well, the comic book man, I think I met one of the guys at at a convention early on, and so it was fun to be me, acting me. But the guys are great. I love the guys. It's a fun show, and I just really appreciate them. I'm always flattered when somebody invites me on the. So much of acting is going in and fighting for parts, and so when someone invites me to come and play, and I don't have to do a big dance, it was just fun. It was fun to just go and hang out. You know, so we sort of did it all in one day. Yeah.
Just because he made me think of that. Is Walt as uncomfortable to be around as you made it seem in that episode?
Oh.
Like you seem very creeped out by him, and it seems like it would be that way.
Well, no. I think it's kind of supposed to be based on a reality show, but of course they set it all up. We didn't actually take the truck out and sell comic books to kids. No, but. I hate to spoil it, but it's not really real. But no, so he didn't creep me out necessarily, and no more than they all creep me out. I'm here, and this is the store, and so okay, all right, sure. Yeah. So.
You talked about The Crow and some of the, you're in like some classic 80s action movies and stuff like that, when they used to do everything practical and all like that. Do you
Yeah.
have like any kind of a story from one of those action movies where things were particularly rough or anything like that, really hard?
Well, I've done a lot of, action stuff, in the past, and usually it goes pretty well, but, like Brandon died, or sometimes things just go wrong. I did a movie called No Escape.
That's one of the ones.
And it was kind of a futuristic thing, but sometimes when they do that futuristic stuff, they sort of do kind of a flashback. It was like, we had swords and stuff. It was like really sort of stupid. Anyway, we had, we had one of the action scenes was, I was fighting some guys, and I remember, and then I was to turn around, the guy, he comes up behind me, and then I turn around, and I'm fighting him, and I turn around, and I just come down really hard with my sword. He holds his little thing up, and then I hit it in the middle, and it breaks, and then we roll around and whatever. You choreograph it also. So but you're in the middle of it, and so we're fighting, and I'm kicking this guy, and I knock this guy over here, and then I turn around and I swing my sword down, but he didn't do this. He put his hand in the middle. So it just whacked his little finger off here, and it was dingling. And he was saying, he said, I'm okay. This guy's like he's an extra. He's probably making like $20 for the day, and I'm like, dude, I really feel bad, man. It's like, you can't say I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I really hate it, So then they took him off, you know. And the next day, he came back. He said, well, yeah, no, they couldn't put it back on, but I'm okay. I'm, you know, he wanted to work some more. You know, so, I mean, they asked me to do kind of dangerous stuff. I'm like, nah, man, you know, you get somebody else to, you know. Like when I did Lost, not Lost, Heroes, my character was Zachary's character. I don't remember these names are. Anyway, so he's supposed to zap me, and my character goes flying back, and there's like a little window, just a little window. I'm supposed to go through the window. So I'm looking at that, I'm like, nah, man. You know, at my age, I don't fly so well, so they give me a double. So they get the double, but because they get my age, and they get a double who's my age, which is not a good thing, because, I mean, I'm in pretty good shape for my, but this guy's like an old guy here, you know? So I'm like, dude, you gonna be okay? He said, yeah, I'm okay. So they took a harness up, and so when they zap him, they snatch the harness, and he goes flying back through the window. But the harness, he went flying back, but his body was like, so he hit his head and his leg, and he didn't go through the window, and the thing was pulling him, and it was like, he passed out. So they came and they said, oh my God, are you okay, And he's like, yeah, Mom, I'm okay. They said, well, okay, we want to do this again, and so they said, well, this went wrong, and we'll hook it up, and they talked a little bit. So he zapped again, went flying back, his head hit, and he fell, and he passed out again. They did that 4 times. So, you know, I get, no. Because, I mean, they think, oh, it's like, well, they had that big training thing for Randy Miller, who, you know, just went to jail for putting his crew on a railroad track and then getting clear that there was a real train going through, and the girl died from it. So, you know, they get a little, you know, most of it is really safe, but sometimes they take chances, and you can get hurt in those chances. So you just have to really, Brandon, you know, the reason Brandon, they say was skilled because somebody didn't check the gun.
Right.
So, you know, you have to look out for yourself.
I had that poster hanging on my wall for 20 years.
Yeah, no, it was, yeah. So, okay, yeah, sure.
First of all, thank you for your service. You're a veteran.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And also, you used to write, didn't you? Do you still write? And if you do, how can we get, were any of your works published that we could get?
Yeah, I used to write. I used to consider myself a writer, but since I haven't written anything, and writing is a very, it's difficult because, you know, it's just you and the page, and so I write a lot of stuff, but I don't really need it because I make a fairly good living as an actor, and I was really focusing more on the writing, but then after my marriage ended, my tool was came to live with me, and I had to sort of keep money coming, and acting is immediate, whereas writing, I would write something, the studios would take it, they really like it, we have a meeting, we have another meeting, 6 months go by, and no money's come in, and whereas acting, if I go in, if I get the job, I get paid. And so that was, I was clear on that, so. But now that I'm old, I'm doing some more things, but nothing yet is, you know, and I don't really, I'm at a stage in life where you kind of go, do I really want to do that? I mean, you want to do the stuff, you love what you do, but I don't really want to do the other stuff. You know, the dance. So I'm like, why am I doing this? Because you're not gonna, you know, it's sort of, it's like, I think you have to, well, it's taken me my whole life to make peace with my future. Because always, you know, you have this idea of what's gonna be, and when you do this thing, and you're gonna look a certain way, and you're gonna have that really trim waistline, and you're gonna be this big star, and you're gonna make all this money, and this house that I'm living in, which is an okay house, but I'm gonna get that really big house, you know, with the whole thing, and I'm gonna be so cool, and everybody's gonna know that I am like the coolest. And I'm gonna be, and so no matter where you are, you never live up to that thing. So you can't really make peace because something comes up really good, you should celebrate, but you can't celebrate because it's not really quite that. And so it kind of robs you. And so it's, the biggest thing is you have to let that go and realize there is no future. It's just kind of now, you know, and make peace with that. So that's kind of where I am. And so now it's like, well, since I'm not really worried about the future, then let me find something that I really want to do. So if I'm going to go to Bangor, then I really need to be there and want to be there because, yeah, I gotta get rich going to Bangor, you know? It's not like Party Central. I'm like, oh my God, I went to Bangor. Oh man, it's so much.
You don't know the half of it.
You know, yeah, you know. And if it is that much of a party, I'll probably pass out anyway. You be telling me about what happened. Well, we got there, you passed out, but it was so much fun, you know. So you gotta go with now, you know, because that's really sort of all there is. I think this is my thing anyway. Because it really isn't even any here and now. Because here and now is everywhere. Because here and now just passed. As soon as you say it, it's over. So it's really about just being, you know, and are you cool with who you're being? I mean, because if you aren't, then everything has to suck. You know, I mean, you know, but since you can't say everything sucks because I suck because I'm not being right, so you have to say everything and everybody else suck, and so I'm cool. But the only way you can make everybody else not suck is you gotta not suck. So you gotta just be cool with who you are. You know? This is all of it. So, you know, my kids have all grown up and left home. We have a house in Minnesota where my wife is, so I don't get a chance to talk much. So all these ideas I tried on you. Oh, and guess what? I was sleeping. I haven't talked to anybody in so long. Wow. Ask me about something else. Somebody keep track of the time as well. So yeah. So any other? Sure.
Going back to Ghostbusters, in the second one when you guys are going through the subway,
Right.
what made you so scared in actually acting the scene out when the train is coming at you?
Okay. You mean scared in real life or scared like as an actor?
In real life, you're hearing it stand up on end like that.
Well, if you go back to the old movies, the black people's hair stands up when there's a ghost coming. Not really. I'm joking. Like all over the internet, Ernie Hudson says black people's hair stand up. No, it's a joke. I used to comb my hair and I put this stuff in it, you know, and just kind of wave it up because I really wanted to be cool. If you notice now, I don't have any hair because at one point I just thought, you know what? It's time. Time to start combing and brushing and trying to look a certain way. You know, now women know I'm the old person. You know when it comes, when they go, oh my God, I love you so much. My grandmother's a big fan of yours. You know, it's like it's over. So I don't have to do the hair thing anymore, and I don't have to color anything. It's like, this is it. This is how God intended. So anyway, so when the little helmet thing they were wearing, the miner's cap, whatever, when I jerked my head back, it came off, and because of the oil that was in my hair, it did that, and I've been embarrassed by it ever since. Yeah, so, and then when I talked to the director, Ivan Reitman, who said, now, is the train tracks, there's a real locomotive coming down the tracks. You've been hit by a real train, so you gotta act accordingly. So I'm thinking, they're gonna see a real train coming down, a real train came down the tracks and hit you, you would be like, oh, that would be it. I mean, that's, well, when the movie came out, it wasn't a real train, it was a little choo-choo fake train. I would have acted differently with a little choo-choo fake train. You know? So it wasn't quite what I thought it was. But people like the scene. And it is what it is. I made peace with it. It's all good. You know, it just makes me want to sing. Yeah, so, but it was a fun scene. Yeah.
Well, we're back with Ghostbusters. You said earlier that if you were going to play a man who worked in a post office, you'd go to a post office for a while.
Right.
Where did you go for Ghostbusters?
Well, you know, where I went for Ghostbusters was, like I said, I went to Yale. And so whenever I would sort of, guys would say, hey, we're having this party, you know, white guys would have parties. And they would go, oh, cool. So I'd go to the party, because I'd go to parties because I think it's going to be like a lot of women, but it wouldn't be. It would be like guys drinking beer. And so, and talking some weird stuff. So this is three guys talking some weird stuff, and I'm like, yeah, sure, just tell me, do I get paid? That was my character in Ghostbusters, like, yeah, right. I don't know, you know. Because Winston was a little bit outside of the group. I mean, they were really into it. They was like, yeah, man, it's all well and good, but, you know. So it was kind of a new experience for him. Yeah.
Did it really get close to having you guys all come back for this new Ghostbusters? I've heard a bunch of rumors about that.
Yeah, you know, we've, over the last 25 years, it's been 25 years since the last one, we've talked, you know, I get calls from the studio, we're gonna go in the fall, and then it doesn't happen, and somebody agrees, and then they disagree, and I don't know why there weren't more movies, and it would have been fun if we had made more, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be. And Harold, we did a movie called Airheads together. It's one of the movies that you don't hear, nobody asks for airhead photos, but it was fun. It was fun making. Actually, Chris Farley was in that, so I had a lot of fun working with Chris. But yeah, and Harold, I know, wanted to do another one, and it didn't happen before he passed, and so now the chance of all of us getting together obviously can't happen. So it's okay. I'm good. I've sort of moved on. Like I said, if I'm asked to do one of the other ones, it'd be great. But I'm not gonna.
First announced that another one was coming, like everybody immediately.
Yeah, but you know, over the years they've been announcing, and fans say, "Oh, it's happening," and then it doesn't happen. I've even gone on shows after I've talked to the studio and said, "Oh, it's going to happen," like I know what I'm talking about, and then it doesn't. Then you feel like, you know what? Until the money's on the table and it's real, and I haven't seen any money yet. So.
I just wondered if you've had a chance to play the Ghostbusters game that came out in '09. If you do, what do you think of it?
I have 4 sons, and my third son came with me during the recording of the video game, and it was sort of putting it together, so I let him play it, and he's more of a gamer. Sadly, he sits and plays video game. I'm like, dude, you gotta have a life, man. You can't sit there. But so he got a chance to, and we did the second one. They were when the video games were that. Remember that early game? I think Rocky was got a chance to sort of to help out there a little bit. But I'm not a gamer, so I don't know. But it was fun that we all came together, and people tell me the game turned out pretty good, and so I was glad at least they got that up. Yeah.
You ready?
Oh, okay. So well, this is I guess this is it now. It's time to say goodbye. So thank you all so much. All right, take care. God bless.
Can I get your email? Because I'd like to use some video maybe on his website.
Yes. And I'm sorry for asking such stupid questions. Like I said, I only ever saw the movie once, and it's kind of
What's the
foggy.
stupid question? Do you have anything
I have pencils with me.